Hello, my name is Hector Rodriguez. My group and I are going to discuss the many reasons why having exotic animals as pets cannot work. Some of the reasons are exotic pets are too hard to take care of and it can be difficult to get them the right medical help. There are quite a few consequences that come with owning an exotic pet, such as fines. Exotic animals can potentially pass diseases to humans, and their animal instincts can randomly kick in and force them to have very violent and killer-like instincts. As previously stated, all of these reasons are going to be further explored. To give better insight on the topic, a veterinarian and a longtime exotic pet owner, along with other people who are well educated on the matter, will thoroughly analyze these reasons and give an overall better understanding on the topic. Although exotic pets have recently become quite common, the idea of owning an exotic animal has been around for thousands of years. People's obsession with exotic animals started early. While keeping birds in captivity for food has been common throughout history, records show that people in Egypt were keeping birds for more than just food in 4000 BC. People in China went a step further during the Song Dynasty and were the first to selectively breed fish for decoration. But it wasn't until open water sailing became possible in the 15th century that people began to trade animals across oceans. The 20th century is when exotic pets further grew in popularity and millions started being traded across the globe. Despite an increase in popularity, people should still not own exotic pets. Not only is owning an exotic pet a detriment to humans, but it also affects exotic animals. On top of illnesses, pain and distress exotic pets experience, their trade can also threaten entire species. Many of the most popular wild pets traded are classified as vulnerable to or threatened with extinction. Our desire to share our homes and lives with these animals could ultimately see their extinction and become a terrible reality. So, not owning exotic pets is beneficial to both sides.
Hi, I am Lulu Miranda and this is Troy, an African Grey. Now, for part of the activity, I'm wearing black so you can see how much flakes, or basically that's one of the downsides about having an African Grey. He throws a lot of flakes on your clothes, and which we will show you at the end of the video. Now, Troy, like I mentioned, he's an African Grey. Now there's two parts of African Greys. We have the Congo and the Tibni. Now there's not much difference about these two. It's just that the Tibni is darker and the tail is a little bit more maroon. Now the good thing about Troy, which I love, is that he's very independent. He's a great talker. He started talking by 6 months. Sense of humor, and he likes to cuddle but not too much, so he's a great companion. Now the bad and the ugly is that he gets very loud. He is 100% a toddler. He needs like a babysitter. He bait and switches real quick. Like, he looks right now and he looks so cute. He is wicked. He will like definitely bite you. Yeah. Bad words. You have to be careful what you say, because he catches words sometimes that you don't want him to say. So when you have company, yeah, you'll be hearing stuff that you don't want people to hear. But other than that, that's part of it. Dusty. Now when your house gets dusty, you have to clean the cage like mostly every 2 days, if not the smell. And then the feathers will be all over. So the good elf filter is very important to have. They're very high maintenance. And part of the loudness, he can be mostly very quiet, but he can get very loud. And he easily gets scared, but just because of that, I don't treat him like if he's made of glass or anything. He needs to cope, and basically I just show him that there's nothing wrong with that, and like it won't hurt him. Let me see if he does or say something for you. Hey, stop it. You want a peanut? Hello? You bug. Okay. He don't want to talk. Oh, he does a little gun. Pew, pew, pew. All right, we're welcome. So I was saying about the feather, that they're everywhere all over the house. Welcome back. So just to finalize that activity, I want to show you how for a few minutes carrying this wonderful Troy leaves you. Now you can imagine how the house will be if you don't clean. We have to clean, sweep, mop most of the time. That was the end of that activity, but lucky for you, I have one more. This activity is called Which Animal Am I? Since we're talking about exotic animals. Basically, you're gonna read what's on the sides and connect it to the animals in there. For example, this one right here, I live on land, I've got sharp teeth, I'm a wild animal, I eat meat, people call me the king of the jungle. Which animal am I? So you connect it to the lion. Have fun.
Hello, I'm the veterinarian, and I'm going to show you some common pets that a lot of people have and the downsides of them. For example, the ferret, which a lot of people have, can be very expensive because of their food is very expensive. They are social creatures, so sometimes it's best to have 2 of them because they crave a lot of attention. They can steal and they get into a bunch of stuff. They can smell and they bite sometimes. Another common pet is the hedgehog, which likes to be left alone, so the max would be to play with them for an hour and then leave them alone the rest of the day. They're really hard to interact with other hedgehogs, so it's best to only have one hedgehog as a pet. And another thing is to not kiss them or drink or eat around them because they do carry salmonella, which is a dangerous disease for humans. Another common pet is the bearded dragon, which is very difficult to take care of because they have various health problems because they are taken from the wild. They also have to be kept in a specific environment of a specific temperature because if it is lower or higher, they can become sick. And they also require UVB light, and their diets are very specific because they're omnivores, and so they have to have a balanced diet. Another common pet is the tarantula, which can't be handled because they can bite you or their abdominal hairs can cause irritation. And while some bites of their tarantulas just cause irritation or rashes or itching, some tarantulas do cause fatal injuries, so it's best to not touch them at all. And their environment has to be well suited for them and their needs. Thank you.
Hi guys, today I'll be talking about why wild animals wouldn't make good pets. Reason number 1, you cannot provide the right home for them. Wild animals have complex behavioral, social, nutritional, and psychological needs. Most people cannot meet the needs of wild animals kept as pets. Wild animals need to be with the members of their own species. Reason number 2, taking them from the wild can endanger the species. Parrots, for example, are the world's most endangered family of birds due to devastation from the international pet trade. The enormous global demand for these and other exotic pets is fueling the illegal capture and trade of millions of birds, mammals, and reptiles annually, most of which die while being captured or transported. Reason number 3, you could get hurt. Keeping wild animals as pets can be dangerous. Many can bite, scratch, and attack an owner, children, or guest. Animal owners can be legally responsible for any damage, injuries, or illnesses caused by animals they maintain. Finding new homes for large, hard-to-handle animals can be difficult, if not impossible, particularly since most zoos are unable to accept them. Reason number 4, you could get sick. Wild animals can carry diseases, dangerous or fatal to humans. Diseases include rabies, salmonella, etc. Wild animals also harbor parasites such as worms. All wild animals have instinctive behavior. Instinctive behavior is not practiced or learned. It is the natural reactions of the animal depending on the species. Wild animals should be left in the wild. They shouldn't be someone's pet. By their nature, these animals are wild and potentially dangerous and do not adjust well in a captive environment. In other words, wild animals are time bombs waiting to explode.
Good morning, Harry. This really is a bizarre story of a backyard filled with lions, tigers, bears, and wolves. Now the owner of this personal zoo is dealing with the death of one of his employees.
It's hard to imagine why anyone would do this, but letting people wrestle his bears is how Sam Mazzola once made a living. And 9 bears were just part of his exotic backyard zoo.
Come here, come here, come here.
He also had 12 wolves, 4 tigers, and a lion. Last Thursday, one of the animals attacked.
Man, I need somebody here right now, man.
Is the person breathing?
Barely. Come on, guys, I need help.
That person was 24-year-old Brent Kandra, who worked for Mazzola. He was mauled to death while trying to feed one of the bears.
He had already put the food in the cage and was playing with the bear when the accident happened. It was just a panic. It happened so fast and it was just so quick.
Hello, my name is Vanessa and I'll be talking about why wild animals are illegal to have as pets. To understand that raising a wild animal as a pet might be exciting and cool, but however, when a wild animal grows up, they can become very dangerous and very unpredictable to have as a pet. There's a lot of stories of wild animals who've been kept as pets, attacking and injuring people. Even small animals such as squirrels can be delivered as a nasty bite, or even they're scratched with their natural instincts kicked in. A physical injury is just one of the risks of keeping a wild animal. Native wildfire species are protected by state laws and federal laws, or even both. To keep a wild animal in captivity for a length of time, for any reason, owning a wild animal requires one special permit. In most cities and many countries, having a local ordinance that prevents individuals from keeping wild animals in captivity. For an example, in the state of Alaska, there's a law saying no person may possess, import, release, or export, or assist in importing, releasing, or exporting any living game animals as pets. As species of birds, reptiles, mammals, including a fertile domestic animal found or introduced in the state, except domestic birds and mammals. The department determines live game to include all animals, including exotic such as wild fields, wolves, bears, monkeys, and some fines from owning a wild animal as pets, which is called the Endangered Species Act, prohibits the selling, delivering, carrying, transporting, importing, or even shipping any endangered animals of fish or wildlife. The minimum penalty for keeping an endangered animal as a pet is $3,500 fine for the first violation and $13,000 fine for the third violation. Another federal law in the Captive Wildlife Safety Act, the act prohibits in-state commercial of living big cats such as lions, tigers, leopards, snow leopards, clouded leopards, jaguars, cheetahs, and cougars. The violation for the law is punishable by up to 5 years in prison and even maximum of fine for $500,000.
Hi, I'm Dr. Avila and I'm here to talk about the many health problems that come with owning exotic pets. Many exotic animals are carriers of zoonotic diseases such as herpes B, monkeypox, and salmonellosis, all of which are transferable to humans. 80 to 90% of all macaque monkeys are infected with herpes B virus or simian B, a virus that is harmless to monkeys but is often fatal to humans. Monkeys shed the virus intermittently in saliva or genital sections, which generally occur when the monkey is ill, under stress, or during breeding season. At any given time, about 2% of infected macaque monkeys are often shedding the virus. A person who is bitten, scratched, or sneezed or spit on while shedding occurs the risk of contracting the disease. Monkeys rarely show any signs or symptoms of shedding, making it nearly impossible to know when one is at risk. Probably 90% of all reptiles carry and shed salmonella in their feces. Iguanas, snakes, lizards, and turtles are common carriers of the bacterium. Reptiles that carry salmonella do not show any symptoms. Thus, there is no simple way to tell which reptiles play host to the microbe and which do not, because even those that have it do not constantly shed the bacterium. Salmonella infection is caused when individuals eat after failing to wash their hands properly, after handling a reptile or objects the reptile contaminated. This can be either indirect or direct contact with infected reptiles. Salmonella bacteria does not make the animal sick, but in people it can cause serious cases of severe diarrhea, with or without blood, headache, malaise, nausea, fever, vomiting, abdominal cramps, and even death, especially in young children, the elderly, and those with immune-compromised systems. In addition, salmonella infection can result in sepsis and meningitis, particularly in children, as well as invade the intestinal mucosa and enter the bloodstream, causing septicemia and death.
In conclusion, although there are some reasons as to why owning exotic pets can be beneficial, there is a lot of factual evidence and personal experiences that say otherwise. In this case, the pros most certainly are being outweighed by the cons. All the different factors that come into play, such as them possibly transmitting diseases to owners and sudden changes in behavior, are more than enough of a reason as to why exotic pets cannot work.